Well, yet again, we get to the question, yet again, of open-end versus closed-end funds. Open-end funds, yet again, are invested in liquids. Liquids have less tax because of who and what the liquids are. For instance, if you're dealing with a liquid that basically is a situation where you're dealing with an exchange-traded stock, there are no taxes for offshore investors, and as a consequence, the DTAs in Singapore do not come into effect. If you're dealing with commodities, the DTAs do not come into effect because those are basically sold on an international exchange-traded basis, and there is no DTA that impacts that. If you're dealing with illiquids, which is what your closed-end funds deal with, then you do have DTA benefits. So automatically, of the majority of your DTA benefits that would normally apply for Singapore, don't apply. What does apply are the other tax benefits that Singapore does have for the management schemes. And I expect that there will be some changes to the local tax rules to sort of incentivize people to use open-end investment companies. So I think that what will happen is as we go along, the changes that we have to our tax scheme right now, your 13Rs, your 13Xs, that normally apply towards fund managers and fund structures will be extended to the open-end investment companies to make sure that their tax structure actually lowers too. And so it's more in line with the actual sort of fund structure, because there would be no point in implementing this type of a regulatory change without incentivizing them to be at least on equal footing with the managers. So I expect that to be changed to a certain extent at some point. But a lot of the taxation treaties, a lot of the reason why people do invest in Singapore insofar as they invest in Singapore for DTA purposes, a lot of that is tied to illiquid investments, which then again have less value for an open-end structure such as this. So there is some benefits, but I don't think they necessarily are what people might suspect them to have been at this point.